Fantasy Football Universe, how's it going? It is your Devy Mastermind, SC Romero, here to bring you another Devy Diamond. And today we're talking about a freshman quarterback that is balling. I mean, he is balling out in the ACC right now, and that is going to be Pittsburgh quarterback Eil Holstein. We're going to get all into his details right after the intro.
Listen up closely, let the games begin. Top pick sleepers every week I spin. The FF universe here to help you win. The fantasy football universe.
Fantasy Football Universe here to help you win. That is what we do, and it's not just about now, it's about the future as well, which brings us to today's Devy Diamond of Pittsburgh Panthers quarterback Eil Holstein. Now, history about him, he was a four-star prospect out of Zachary High School in Zachary, Louisiana. He had 19 collegiate offers before he committed to Texas A&M in June of 2021. After his commitment, he still continued to receive offers there, and he actually ended up decommitting from Texas A&M before actually even fully enrolling in there. Shortly after that, stepped away, had some unofficial visits to Alabama, had unofficial visits to Florida and LSU, some SEC schools. Actually ended up committing to Alabama last year, and he would redshirt that season. He didn't really play, and that was good. I mean, the coaching staff changed, whatever it may be, but he entered their transfer portal beginning of this season, which took him to Pittsburgh, and really the rest is history at that point. Transferring universities, some athletes. I get it. You want to stick with the team you're going with. The team builds connection, but sometimes transferring is the better thing to do. And him transferring to Pittsburgh has worked wonders for him. Right now, the team's undefeated. They're balling out of control. Eil Holstein is throwing the rock all around the field. He is getting the ball to his wide receivers, averaging 258 yards per game. He's had all but one game, he's had at least two or more passing touchdowns. It was 2 weeks ago, he had zero, so we won't really talk about that one. Everyone has those bad games, right? But he's been balling right now. 5 interceptions to 17 passing touchdowns. So about a 3-to-1 ratio, a little bit more than a 3-to-1 ratio right there. Has his team ranked in the top 25 right now at number 18 overall. So he is out here balling, showing confidence in the pocket. We saw this when he was coming in as a freshman last year, that he was someone that had an arm. He's not a mobile quarterback, right? He's not like Lamar Jackson or anything, but he does use his feet to escape, and he does have the mobility to extend the play and evade tacklers in the backfield. And when the pressure is collapsing, he just still shows some confidence. He's still standing there and delivering. I mean, he has some good size, about 6'4", I think 220 or so. So it really looks good for him right now. Sky's the limit for him. I mean, right now, I think he has the caliber of being a first-round prospect, and we'll get into that when we talk about his draft time. But his strengths so far are looking great. He has a phenomenal arm. He can really hit all the windows. He can do a little bit better accuracy in the deep ball, but he does have the strong arm to make those deep kind of throws as well. Pocket presence, he has the awareness to know when the pressure is closing in. He has the awareness to know, okay, I need to step out of the pocket to extend the play or just to get a couple extra yards with my feet. That mobility is key for him. He's really strong with his feet. Don't get me wrong, he's not rushing for 100 yards or anything like that, but he is picking up the yards when he needs to. He really has a high football IQ. It looks like he understands the defensive schemes that are going against him, and he's adjusting when he needs to make those things happen. And his vision, his field vision is phenomenal. He is scanning the field left and right, making sure he finds his wide open receiver and hitting it. He can't hit those tight windows, but mostly he's knowing where his wide receiver is at and hitting it in the area where they're going to be to make those catches. And the consistency through his career, he's just constantly shown ability to produce solid performances. Now, again, a couple of weeks ago, 0 passing touchdowns. They still won, but that kind of stuff does happen to even the best quarterbacks. So he's still, learning those kind of things. But the consistency through his career, even in high school, is good to see. He has a good track record. He is progressive through his reads. He is understanding those defenses, and he's adjusted when he needs to, and he's consistently putting out solid performances week after week. Now, areas of improvement right now against top defenses. I say that because, yes, he's in a Power 4 conference. But if you ask, I want to say majority of college football fans rank the top 4 conferences, rank the Power 4 conferences. They're probably going to say SEC is the one. Probably gonna say Big Ten as the two, Big 12 as the three, and then ACC as the four. Just if you talk about all around offense, special teams, defense, I would say that's the majority order for a lot of people. So being in the ACC, yes, he's facing top tier power four defenses, but at the same time, it's not your SEC, it's not your Big Ten, it's not your Big 12 type of defenses as well. So against the top tier defenses, we can see how he plays against those type of teams where he might get the team to the playoffs. If he remains undefeated, he might take them to the playoffs. Clemson, Miami looking strong too. So we'll see. Time will tell. But he does, we need to see what he does against those top kind of defenses as well. Decision making, young quarterback. This is why I have this all here for an area of improvement, because even though he is confident in the pocket when the pocket collapses, you do see sometimes he gets a little rattled when that pressure is collapsing and that pressure is closing in. So just, being a little bit more confident and trusted in himself, I think, is needed. But again, I think that comes with time. Being a younger quarterback, I think that's something that he's going to improve on. Deep ball accuracy. That's probably his biggest weakness is that deep ball. Now, he does have the arm to throw it. He has that cannon. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, hitting them on the money, not every time. Sometimes it's underthrown, sometimes it's overthrown, sometimes it's to a pick, right? And so he needs to be a little bit more cautious on that. He does have the arm strength to do it, and I think sometimes he just slings it, which kind of puts his accuracy down. But I think he can improve that and finesse it as he gets older and goes through his developmental process as well. Quick decision making. Sometimes he's one that does hold the ball. It's like, bro, like you see that slant, just hit him. I think sometimes he's hesitant, like he wants to wait till his wide receivers get open a little bit instead of just saying, look, man, you have that lane. You see them have a little bit of a gap between them and the defensive back or linebacker, whoever it is, make that throw. Sometimes he waits because he wants to see a little bit of a bigger gap, but it's like, bro, you have that arm talent, you have the touch to make that throw. Just go ahead and make that throw for you. So I think that could improve a little bit more for him in that quick decision making, quick slants, just getting the ball out in fast moments, especially in no huddle offenses. Make that quick throw just to move the chains and get down the field in times of need, if you will. Now, draft stock eligible. He's going to be eligible to enter the 2027 class. Right now, the way he's been balling, if this is his career in college, like if he continues this, he's a first round prospect. That's why I think coming in, people thought he was, say back, maybe they dropped it back. I think consensus will still have him as a first round prospect. I believe he's a first round prospect, and assuming he continues this trajectory, keep it going. So I really love that he's going to do that. And right now, again, 2 years from now, 2027, a lot can change. Right now, though, if I'm thinking about future, if I'm going in my time machine and jump into the future here, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can be a good spot for him. Now, remember, they did this in 2017, right, when they got quarterback Kenny Pickett, right? They drafted the Pittsburgh quarterback to go to Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett. That was, I don't want to say a bust. There's the whole thing on, NFL not developing quarterbacks. I'm sorry. If you're going to the NFL, you should be developed to some extent to be played at that level. If you're being drafted, they expect you to know something. So it's not their job to do it. You don't apply for a CEO job and say, oh, I have no experience, I need some development. No, like you need to know what you're doing. So this whole developing of quarterbacks in the NFL, granted to a T, they need to. But when you're going into the draft as a first round prospect, you better be ready to go with development. Like this whole raw talent stuff that we've been seeing, why? But that's another discussion. But I think he has the opportunity. He has the size. He has the mobility, if you will. He has the arm strength. Honestly, if he grows, he's like 220. Put an extra 20 pounds on him. This kid's a Ben Roethlisberger. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Ben Roethlisberger wasn't a dual threat quarterback, but he could run. Ben Roethlisberger was a bigger guy, and he knew how to throw that ball. So I felt like this is Roethlisberger 2.0 potentially, right? Especially if you go Pittsburgh native. This just seems like, okay, it makes sense. He's in your backyard. Let's scout this guy. Let's draft him. So where they're at with the quarterback, right? Russell Wilson, what happens to him in 2 years? Does he fall off? He's doing good right now. Does he fall off? He's even with the team. I don't know. Justin Fields, led the team to a good record, but then Russell Wilson got healthy and they benched Fields. Developmental issues, right? NFL not developing quarterbacks, whatever it is, developmental issues. Maybe Fields isn't the franchise guy. They're hesitant on giving them the reins. That obviously is noticed if they gave it to Russell Wilson, even though Fields was leading the team to a winning record. So they're looking for their franchise quarterback in my eyes. Maybe they have Fields the next 2 years. He's a younger quarterback. Maybe they have that. And it doesn't work out. So guess what? 2027 comes around and boom, here you go. Eil Holstein is there, Pittsburgh quarterback. I think that would be excellent for them. He has the physical attributes. He could provide them a durable, versatile type of quarterback, a quarterback that can go through the reads and play against those type of defenses, that hard, gritty, nose-hitted defenses. I feel like Holston can do that. I said that's the weakness earlier, or area of improvement. I feel like he could do it. I feel like he could take those hits. I feel like he can make those type of plays, and I feel like he can make that type of impact. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be a phenomenal spot for him. Now, as far as the fantasy impact, by averaging 258 passing yards per game, he's a reliable quarterback. He's someone that you know is going to get the yards. He's getting multiple touchdowns a game, except that, once a couple weeks ago that happens. But he's getting multiple a game, so he's a reliable quarterback to put up 20-plus fantasy points right now in college, right? So good for your CFF leagues or C2C leagues. At the NFL, he has some good options, some appealing fantasy trajectory right now because of where he's at, right? If he continues this type of game, it's only the moon. James Witt said, the sky's not the limit when we got people on the moon, right? So yes, to the moon for Eil Holstein. I think he can lead a team effectively. He could be good. I think he could be a high-end QB2 for your team, potentially a low-end QB1, depending on what supporting cast he has. But I think he has the confidence to be a solid contributor for any team and have a fantasy impact for him. I personally do like him. I think in 2 years from now, we're going to see him as a first-round draft prospect, and the teams are going to be fighting for him, that he could potentially be in that race for, top 5 in that race. Right now, we're already talking about, Rayola, Lagway, even Sane hasn't seen a snap. But you need to be talking about Holston. Holston's balling right now at Pittsburgh. He is doing his things to make it work. Is he in Pittsburgh in 2027? Who knows? Maybe he transfers. Never know. Transfer portal's crazy. NIL, all that kind of stuff. But right now, he is on the trajectory to be a great prospect moving forward. I think he's someone you need to have on your Devy radars. You need to have in your C2C leagues. Go trade for him. CFF leagues, awesome. He's good. Eil Holstein is someone I'm targeting. That's who we have for our Devy Diamonds today. I hope y'all enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to these videos. We have consistent videos coming out daily, from rankings to these Devy Diamonds, everything going on in between. So until next time, I'm the Devy Mastermind of the Fantasy Football Universe. Peace.